Yo, Kid-Based Guy here. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm bringing you what I think is going to be a budget banger, a bang for your buck. This is the Monoprice 133832. In short, it's the Monoprice Premium 5.1.4 Dolby Atmos sound system. Now, I picked this up for you guys on Amazon. I was just scrolling through for my own personal wants, and I saw this speaker package. I purchased this 5.1.4 system for only $321 after tax and all that stuff there, which is incredible. I was like, are you sure? Is that the right price? You get 5 speakers, which all are Dolby Atmos enabled, and a subwoofer for $320. That is incredible. And it's from Monoprice, so it's going to be a name that you can trust. Now, I think I bought the last one right now because you can't find it under $700 anymore. But I purchased this one for $320. Now, there is another model like this. It's the same thing, but instead of being a 5.1.4, it's a 5.1.2. So instead of having 4 Dolby Atmos enabled speakers, you have 2. So we're gonna unbox this together and take a look at this and see what all it entails. And then of course, we'll put it in the system and see how it sounds in my room in a future video. So let's go ahead and get it unboxed. So now we have everything unwrapped and looking beautiful in its entirety, but let's go through a few specs about this system here. So again, this is my 5.1.4 tester, but you can get a 5.1.2 to cut down on cost. Maybe you don't want a full Atmos setup. But some of the specs on these speakers, each of these satellites have 3-inch polypropylene drivers. So the top driver and the front priming driver are 3-inch polypropylene drivers here, rated between 70 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Now these speakers are easily powered. You don't need a fancy high-tech, high-powered amplifier or AV receiver to power these. These only ask maximum of 30 watts, so they take any juice you'll give them and they'll perform fine, so you don't have to power them with a lot of power. Now the recommended power amplifier to use is between 15 and 100 watts. So any amplifier out there, guys, regardless of type, brand, make, model, expense, your AV receiver or amplifier will be able to power these with no problem. Now what's nice about these is they have really nice connectors on the backside. Those terminals are built well and they feel well, and they accept probably up to maybe 18, maybe 16 gauge wire. So they'll fit the wire you have sitting at home right now. Now our center channel is similar to the satellites, but of course there is no up-firing speaker on this because it's just the center channel. So this one is a 2-way full-range bass reflex. Each of these have a port on the back. The center channel has 2 ports on the back, and it has that 3-inch polypropylene driver. Now this one's rated to 110 hertz. Reason being is because it's slightly smaller than the satellite, so you get a little less frequency response out of these. The maximum input for these are 100 watts, and the recommended amplifier is 20 to 100 watts. So this one is an 8 ohm speaker. So these are 4 ohms because you're going to be powering 2 different speakers inside the satellites. The center channel is just 1 speaker. Now the subwoofer here is a 12-inch reinforced paper cone. Now, it's funny they say that. It looks a lot more like a 10 or so. I'm not sure if it's really 12. But they say it's a 12-inch reinforced paper cone. Gets down to about 30 hertz. And it's 300 watts of output here. So, it's a pretty beefy subwoofer for what it is. 300 watts into a 12-inch sub. That's not bad at all for the price that I paid. So this should give me pretty good output in small rooms. It will probably struggle in a medium room. The whole system will probably struggle in a medium room, but a small room it should do fine. And luckily that's the room that I have, is a small room. So I think this should be a good performer. All right, so taking a look at this driver here, that's the 12-inch driver. It's definitely not 12 inches. This is more like a 10-inch driver. Hopefully that's just a typo in the spec sheet. Hopefully it still gets down to 30 hertz, and hopefully it still has a 300 watts. I hope all that's correct, but this is definitely not a 12-inch driver. Maybe the ring in total is 12 inches, but the cone itself, the surface area, is definitely definitely a 10-inch. There's my hand, it completely covers it, and my hand's not a big hand. So this definitely is a 10-inch sub for sure. So moving on to the back of the sub, you have that built-in 300 watt amplifier here. So going from top to bottom, you have your volume level here. Your low pass filter goes from 40 hertz up to 150 hertz. You have a phase toggle switch from 0 to 180 hertz. You have 3 different power modes. You can have it on, auto, or off. And then down here is where you'll make your connections. You have your sub in or line in. So the widest left R is right, but you can just connect one. Connect the left if you're using LFE. Now there's not a built-in LFE signal here on this subwoofer. So what you're gonna do, if you're using your receiver to set your crossover, you wanna set this all the way to max, or the highest it'll go. So in this case, 150 hertz, so that you can set your frequency in your receiver and bypass these controls here. If you are using a receiver, just plug in one of your inputs here on the left side. Now, if you're using speaker level, the high level ends, you're gonna use these connectors here. Now, these are banana plug acceptant. You'll pop out these little pieces inside, and you can put banana plugs there, or you can just untwist them and put your bare wire here. And this is used if you're using a 2-channel system. So if you have a 2-channel system, you can plug left and right speakers into the subwoofer, so it plays both information from the speakers, and you can set the crossover here. So, but for me, I'll be using it with my AVM70 preprocessor, so I'll just connect my connection here and set the crossover to maximum. So they give you some RCAs to make your subwoofer connection. So you have a pair of RCAs here to go from your sub to whatever system you're gonna be using. I'm gonna use the wireless adapters that I have because these are only about 3 feet long. So your subwoofer would have to be pretty close to your AV receiver. So I'm gonna have to use my wireless adapters, which is no problem. It'll all work the same. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna get this all set up, and then in a later video, we'll kind of sit down and do some demos and do some tests, and we'll talk about how they sound both we'll just do movies. We won't do music for this, but movies. Because if you're buying this, you're buying it for the movie aspect. You're buying it for the Dolby Atmos. So nobody's really gonna be listening to music on these speakers. So we'll do a movie demo assessment on these speakers in the next couple of days. So I'm gonna set these up. We'll get the speakers out of the room, my own speakers out of the room. We'll put these in place of them, and then we'll tell you guys what I think about it. So this should be a really good system, to be honest with you guys. It's an easy and inexpensive way to get yourself into Dolby Atmos, especially if it's made for a smaller room. So you're gonna want, if you're in a smaller room or an apartment, this will be the system for you. So it looks promising. I have a Monoprice monolith amplifier that I'm absolutely in love with. So I know Monoprice is a really good brand. So I'm excited to have these in and test for you guys. And it may be a really nice a piece of equipment to have in your home theater, especially if you're starting out or don't want something really big, but you want something better than like a sound bar or something. So stay tuned, guys, for future videos. I'm gonna get these set up and play some movies and tell you what I think about it in the next couple of days. And we'll see if this is something you guys should put on your radar. I appreciate you so much for watching. Leave a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe if you are not already. We will see you in the next video. K-Pace Guy out. Peace.